Whether it's transcribing audio from meetings into detailed notes, translating audio inputs into another language, or even generating speech from text for maybe an AI call agent. AI voice transcription, generation, and translation are really powerful models, and in this video I'll be showing you how to build AI voice features into your Replit apps. As always, we'll be using a concrete example and we'll be adding some AI voice features to our first 100 app, which we've been building in this course. Before diving in, very quickly, my name's Gerard. I'm the founder of RepleStack.com, where I teach people with ideas but no coding experience how to build their own apps using Replit as the full stack. In this course, we've been covering how to build with AI features. And we have this app which helps users get their first 100 users, customers, sales, whatever it is they set their goal to. So one feature that I've been thinking about is having a daily check-in, which first and foremost lets the user set the current value for their goal and check in for that day so we can start to build a progress tracker chart. And what I'm thinking is we could add an AI voice transcription feature to this daily check-in so that the user can just speak into their phone or microphone, can just record their thoughts for the day, and it will transcribe some key notes that will be logged in their progress chart. So that's what we'll be building in this lesson. But first, it's worth just, again, giving the high-level overview for AI voice. There are three main modes for at least the OpenAI audio models. You can take audio as the input and transcribe it into text. So that might be for a video or a meeting notes audio. You want to just take the raw input as an audio file. It could also be a video on YouTube. And then you want to get the text output as your response. OpenAI also offers a specific endpoint for translations into English. So if you want to take a video, let's say, that's in Spanish and you want to translate it into English, you can use this specific audio translation endpoint as well. And lastly, you can generate speech using one of OpenAI's speech models. You can listen and get a preview of what these sound like on this openai.fm site. So let's test out some of these voices.
Ah, noble traveler, heed my words.
The stars tremble before my genius. The rift is open.
Ah, you got a package gone missing, huh? Sounds like trouble.
So I'd recommend testing out these voices here if you are interested in the text-to-speech generation. And then all you need to do is set one of those voice models when we make the text-to-speech generation request. So at a high level, we have those three main modes. We can generate speech, we can generate a transcription or a translation. The inputs are either going to be an audio file, if we're making a transcription or translation, or some text, if you are generating speech, or a combination of both. So you could also input an audio file plus some text instructions for exactly what you want the model to produce. We'll also need to include some parameters in our request. So the main parameters for voice to text are going to be the language, and we want to provide the language of the audio input. So if you input a Spanish audio file or an English audio file, you want to just make sure that you specify that. Typically, if the input is in English, you don't need to do this. It's going to default to that. But you can find the language codes with this link here. So these are the different language codes that you'll need to input as a parameter if you are using a language other than English. These are a bit simpler for the voice to text generation. So we're just going to focus on the language and the model that you want to use. You probably want to use the GPT-4o transcribe model. And then lastly, we're going to discuss how to add this record and stop UI. So you actually need a way for the user to start recording their voice and then stop the recording once they're done, create the audio file and send that to OpenAI as part of your voice to text request. Again, we're just going to start with the voice to text generation feature, and then maybe later in this video I'll show you how to generate an audio file from text. So that's what we're going to do right now. Start a new chat in Replit Agent. We're going to work on this daily check-in feature, and I'm just going to ask GPT to basically make this thoughts and updates into a voice-to-text journal log. I'm going to copy this section for creating a transcription, just so that Replit Agent has the latest docs. Paste this into my prompt, and as always, I will be including the prompt in this lesson below. Let's start building this feature. So I want to enhance our daily check-in feature with a voice-to-text journal log. So we're going to turn this input box into something that can record an audio file, send the file to OpenAI's GPT-4o transcribe, and then fill the input box with a summarized version of those daily notes. Everything else should work the same, and then when we hover over our chart, we should be able to see the notes for that day as well. All right, we've added the record button. Let's test it out. So now when I open my daily check-in, it's the same as before, but now we have this option to record our thoughts for the day, which is really cool. So let's pick a day. Let's do yesterday. Let's say I had 8 customers. And instead of typing, I'm just going to record some thoughts for the day. So let's say I worked on the landing page to try and help with conversions. I added some testimonials. I also explored working on some AI voice features to make things a bit easier for my users. Curious to see if the landing page updates improve our conversion rate. Hit stop recording once you're done. And there you go. Very quickly, it has given us a bulleted point of things that we worked on the landing page, added testimonials, explored AI voice features, aimed to make things easier for use. And the cool thing is I can actually just edit these, and then our save check-in flow is exactly the same. So this is just recording, sending it to OpenAI, and then sending back the bulleted points, which is really cool. Again, you can just send the raw transcription back if you want, or you can add those instructions to clean up the text from the user's input. Now, in general, when you are adding voice features, I like to include these cleanup instructions because when people speak, they tend to kind of ramble on a bit more. They're not as concise as typing. So sometimes including that cleanup instruction is really valuable. There we go. Save the check-in. And now if I scroll down, I'll see that we are logging the number of users as well as the notes for what we worked on the day, which could be a nice way to kind of get a reminder of what was going on at that point in time in your building journey. So you can see that once you have a clear idea of the feature that you want and you get your prompt structured in a nice way, it can be really easy and fast to add features. That was really just one prompt, and now we have voice to text feature in our app, which means we have time to explore some voice generation features. I can't say that I was planning on adding any speech generation features to this app, but let's come up with a feature that we could add. Maybe we want to add a feature that is going to have a motivational quote at the top that's personalized to our current progress and our goal so far. And we will we'll choose an AI voice model to read us that motivational quote each day. Let's try it. So we're going to add a speech generation feature to our app. At the top of the dashboard, we're going to have a daily quote, which we can generate with a click, and it's going to be relevant to the user's journey. We're going to generate the quote with GPT-5 Nano, and then we'll have a play button to inspire me, which sends a speech generation request to create the speech audio and then play it for the user. So let's see how it goes. So we have this new daily quote feature at the top. I can generate a quote, and it should come up with something personalized to my current progress and my goal. At 9%, run a focus pilot with one team. All right, it's not quite motivational, but we can tweak the instructions to improve that. And now we have this Inspire Me Play button. I'm going to click that, and hopefully it's going to read me my quote.
At 9% toward your 100-user goal, run a focused pilot with one remote team.
There we
Capture
go.
the productivity gains in a quick case study and turn that win into 3 new signups this week.
There we go. So that's an example of how you might add a text-to-speech feature to your app after we've already added this audio input. So we need that record and stop recording button, and we're sending that message to OpenAI's transcribe model. Some things to note. In general, you probably don't want to store the recordings. You can just store the transcription if you're going speech to text. And for the actual speech generation, you probably don't need to store all of those MP3 files. If you do need to store them temporarily, maybe you have a cleanup so that you're not storing a lot of data and filling up your database. And the only other thing is just make sure that you include a very clear record and stop button so that you don't get these long, unending recordings. That's something that I'll include in the prompt below for how to set up your interface for these AI transcription features. In the next lesson, we will be bringing together multiple of these modalities into a chat integration that you can also add into your AI apps. For the full course, head to repplestack.com, and I hope you found this useful.